Are you a beginner taking your first steps in making electronic dance music? Well, you might find yourself a bit overwhelmed with the amount of sounds that are out there and all the different possibilities and options that you have. Have you found yourself scrolling through like endless lists of drum sounds, not even knowing why you would choose one over the other or which sounds are going to work well together? Well, in terms of drums, we're going to help you out today. We're going to offer you 3 starting positions, 3 different flavors, let's call them, of drums that will each push you into a slightly different side of the electronic music spectrum. And this way you're going to be able to start refining your taste and developing your own style over time. Let's have a look at them. Before we go any further, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That way we can keep growing and we can keep sending you this quality content. Now, the first approach we're going to be looking at today is using samples, that means recordings of acoustic drums, like a real drummer in a band on stage. There's plenty of electronic music genres that are using real samples, and it's very easy to give like a kind of an organic and human feel to your sounds with them. The second and third approach are 2 drum machines brought out by Roland in the early 80s. We're referring to the Roland TR-808 and the Roland TR-909. Because these were brought onto the market with the idea of replacing acoustic drummers, they were a commercial failure because they don't sound realistic at all. It took a few years, but finally it was discovered that dance floors go absolutely wild for these synthetic sounds, and they don't actually care. They don't actually mind that they don't sound realistic at all. So we'll look at these 3 approaches one at a time. We'll look at the key sounds, what makes them special, and at the end we'll make some beats on all 3 and compare them. Alright, let's get into it. So the first approach is the acoustic drum kit a drummer in a band would have. It may seem silly to go over these sounds, but it can be really handy to understand what kind of drums exist, and because synthetic machines, they also try to mimic these sounds. So here they are. Another benefit to working with this acoustic vibe is that there are many live drummers who have recorded groovy loops for you to use in your tracks, which can give you access to instant soul. Okay, let's talk about the 808. This is the cleaner, deeper version of the 2 drum machines we just mentioned. Its sounds can be found everywhere, like from pop to house to hip hop to trap, literally everywhere. On the front of the panel of this machine are a couple of knobs that allow you to adjust the sounds that are in them. And so we're going to look at all the sounds right now and show you a couple of different variations that can be put out by the machine. Now, one thing you need to know is that the kick drums were later manipulated to be longer and to be played at different pitches to create deep and massive bass lines. This is a defining instrument in hip-hop and other genres, and they're affectionately referred to as 808s. Now, the 909 is a much rougher, in-your-face kind of sound with a very punchy kick drum and very metallic high percussion. In itself, it basically became the backbone of anything that's techno related, but in its functioning it's very similar to the 808 and has a lot of knobs on the front that lets you tweak the parameters. So let's explore those sounds now as well. And one extra piece of character of this machine is that the kick drum responds very well to distortion, quickly becoming the signature overdriven gabber hardstyle hard house kick drum. So there you go, that's the 3 machines. Do you already see which one suits you the best? Let's program some beats on all 3 and compare how they sound next to each other. Now let's just slow it down a bit. And there you have it, a little bit of electronic music culture. It could be a good idea to choose one of these three as a starting point, and then once you're very comfortable with them, start adding more signature sounds and develop a bit more nuanced version of them, or to run them through some effects and really make them your own. In Ableton, the Roland 808 and 909 are available under the drum racks as Core 808 and Core 909. If you want to find some recordings of live drummers, I recommend the loops made by the Loop Loft. I always find them very useful, and for synthetic sounds I really like Gold Baby as a sample creator as well. Links to those in the description. That's all from me today. My name was Oscar from Underdog, and if you'd like to learn a little bit more about this, we run boot camps where in 12 classes you learn an introduction to making your own electronic music, or we also do deep dives for more advanced producers who want to start finishing tracks due to a combination of courses plus coaching. Check all of this out on www.underdog.brussels, we're in Belgium, and I'll see you in the next video. Get in touch, stay producing, be kind to each other, and see ya. Bye bye.